This is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and today I want to talk about Guggenheim's new price target for Bitcoin. It's really an unbelievable number when you think about it, especially coming from such a traditional management firm. This is a price target of $400,000. If you're interested in learning how to make money in both bull and bear markets, or you just want to see what I'm trading or investing in, things like Bitcoin, be sure to hit that subscribe button. So I just came out with a video yesterday talking about how Bitcoin was headed to $300,000 in the next couple of years if you use Plan B's stock to flow model. And then it looks like I was one-upped by Scott Minerd on Bloomberg TV. This is the CIO, Chief Investment Officer over at Guggenheim. And he says he put a price target of $400,000 on Bitcoin. He says that Bitcoin's scarcity, the 21 million maximum supply, combined with rampant money printing by the Federal Reserve, means that Bitcoin should eventually climb to $400,000. Now, you normally don't get a guy like this going on TV and making completely crazy price targets like this unless he has very, very high conviction. For those of you who don't know about Guggenheim, it's a big investment firm. They currently manage more than, at least according to Wikipedia, more than $275 billion under management. And this was obviously a firm that was founded by a bunch of people, including Solomon Guggenheim, who's well known for his art collection, which he donated to the Guggenheim Museum in Manhattan. It's interesting, Guggenheim made his family made their money in mining, in gold and silver mining. So it's appropriate, I think, that this firm should sort of circle back to the digital hard asset of the 21st century, digital gold, which is Bitcoin. But I think this is an extremely bullish sign, especially when Bitcoin is already up. I want to say, it's up about 225% year to date. Those of you who have been following my work on this channel and have gotten into some Bitcoin are obviously very happy. But the important thing to really keep in mind is that this has a much higher price target coming. In spite of the last 2 days' moves, a lot of people think it's too late. But here's a guy who's sticking his reputation on the line and making a very public projection. If we scroll down, we see that he says that the way they valued Bitcoin, our fundamental work shows that Bitcoin should be worth about $400,000. It's based on the scarcity and relative valuation of things such as gold as a percentage of GDP. So it doesn't look like he's using Plan B's model explicitly, but he is looking at Bitcoin as something that could take a lot of market share from gold. If we look at the stock to flow chart, this is Plan B's model. It has Bitcoin going to in the hundred thousands by next summer, and then the next leg up is 1.2 million after the 2024 halving. For those of you who aren't familiar, I've done a bunch of videos on this, but I'll also link to this paper. Now, it's not just Guggenheim and Scott Minerd talking about these crazy targets for Bitcoin. There's also, we've talked about the Winklevoss twins, early investors in Mark Zuckerberg's company, who were actually eventually cheated by him. But they're very smart, always ahead of the game, and they've been very bullish on cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin in particular. They founded the Gemini exchange. They have a price target of $500,000. So you've got some really legitimate people here. You've got Guggenheim, you've got the Winklevoss twins. And now we have even more bullish news coming out. Northern Trust, which is a custodian, another investment firm that has $13 trillion in assets under custody, $1.3 trillion under management. So they manage some money, and then they also store or custody funds for hedge funds, for high net worth investors, for institutional investors. They are now going to become a custodian for cryptocurrency. Anyone who says Bitcoin's going to be banned in the US just isn't paying attention. All these very wealthy, influential firms jumping on Bitcoin. This ensures that there will never be legislation that goes against Bitcoin, at least not for maybe 5 or 10 years. In addition, we learned that there's another hedge fund that is going to be scaling up, particularly at the beginning of 2021. It looks like they already own about $600 million worth of cryptocurrencies, and they say they're going to bring that to $1 billion as of early 2021. So I think we're going to see some really interesting calendar effects as well, where funds like this, they get their inflows of from new investors on December 31st or January 1st, whatever it is, and then they have to, they can't really invest in, they don't have the money on hand to invest in Bitcoin until it comes in at the turn of the calendar year. So I think we could see another big move up, obviously, as we move from December 31st to January 1st. And it's a very artificial thing that's just related to the calendar. But what it means is that there are a lot of people who cannot buy Bitcoin on December 31st, but they can buy it on January 1st. We also heard that Ruffer Investment, another investment firm, just bought $744 million of Bitcoin. One thing I forgot to mention that I wanted to mention talking about Scott Minerd and Guggenheim is that I think one way he comes up with this target, if you multiply $400,000 price target times 21 million coins, you get approximately $8 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. Current market cap of gold is somewhere between 10 and 12 trillion. This is one of the problems with gold. People don't even know what the max supply is, whereas Bitcoin is much more scarce and people do know the max supply of Bitcoin. So it looks like his calculation puts Bitcoin's eventual market cap on the order of gold. I think he's being too conservative. I think Bitcoin is a superior money technology and its market cap will surpass gold. But this is one way of sort of backing in to his calculation. Finally, wanted to finish with Plan B pointing out that we're actually ahead of schedule here. We're really at the beginning of this giant rally. Everything we've seen moving from 7,000 at the beginning of the year to 22, 23,000. Now we are basically right here where this red line is. This dark blue line, navy blue line, is the Bitcoin rally after the 2012 halving. The more blue line right here is Bitcoin's move after the July 2016 halving. And here we are today. So we're really at the beginning. This is how you can see here that I'm not sure exactly. Looks like a logarithmic chart, but here's 100K and here's $1 million. Bitcoin, if it follows this pattern, gets somewhere between whatever this number is, call it $200,000 to almost $1 million, depending how it tracks. Now it looks like the first Bitcoin cycle was a little bit higher. This one is lower, so it's hard to tell exactly. But I think that very easily we get to 100,000 by the end of next year, probably earlier, the way things are going. So people, Plan B is pointing out here, people who are saying that this is going to be a much longer cycle, that it's going to have lower returns, they may be wrong about this. This might actually have, this cycle might actually have higher returns simply because this is not a retail investor-driven rally. This is an institutional investor-driven rally. And anyone who's going out there sticking their neck out and saying this is going to $400,000, this means that they know how much institutional capital is going to flow into this. Just to put things in perspective, I like this. I think this is from Ecoinometrics on Twitter. If you want to see where Bitcoin's market cap is today, it's right down here. Tesla's market cap slightly higher, Facebook, Amazon, and then you start getting higher and higher numbers. Fed balance sheet right here is when Bitcoin's above $300,000. And then gold, it looks like Bitcoin would match the market cap of gold when Bitcoin's at 600K. So it really does look like that's what Scott Minerd's doing. He's applying some sort of discount that maybe Bitcoin gets to 80 or 90% of gold's market cap, and that's sort of how he's handicapping it. Obviously, at the next level, if Bitcoin went to $1 million today, it would actually be right at the M2 money supply. Obviously, M2 money supply is going to move up over time, so this is sort of a target that is always receding. But this is one of the things that actually drives the price of Bitcoin as the money supply increases in the US. This is all the money printing. The price of Bitcoin and other scarce assets go up as well. So very bullish news. It's one thing to hear from a YouTuber like myself that Bitcoin's going to $300,000, but you should really take it seriously when Guggenheim says it's going to $400,000, and when people like the Winklevoss twins say it's going to $500,000. Bitcoin's moved up a lot this year, but it's still not too late to get on this rocket ship, in my opinion. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.